Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's great to be here. Thank you for your time in being here. Those of you who are regular listeners will probably notice I'm at a different place. I'm actually up in Newark in Nottinghamshire, spending the week with my father. So having a great time up here, doing a little bit of work, doing my LinkedIn lives, and it's great to be here. And thank you for your time. I really do appreciate it. I know that you're busy. Everybody is, and we've got things that we could be doing or should be doing, but you've decided to spend a little bit of time with me. I'm going to be respectful of your time, try and keep it to about quarter of an hour, as I said. But what I've got for you today is of immense value. This like little quarter of an hour session could make a massive difference to your business if you carry out the actions that I'm going to recommend. So, you know, it's not about attending an event. It's about what you do with what you learn that makes the difference. So, as I said, thank you for being here. Just to clarify, because I think this is quite interesting and important, that today I'm live. I'm using something called Streamyard to go live, and that enables me to go live on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on YouTube at the same time. So that's pretty good from a time saving point of view. I don't have to do it 3 times. It streams in all those places. And at the same time, I've got my mobile, and I'm streaming on my podcast as well. So what that does is that hooks me up into iTunes, Amazon Music, and about 30 other streaming sites. So altogether, we've got just over, it's normally somewhere between about 7,000 and 8,000 people on the show, either listening or watching, or hopefully watching and listening to me today. So it's great to do that. And my point in telling you that is that anybody can do this. It's not just like, oh, isn't Steve amazing? No. It's just a bit of technology that enables me to do it, that costs me virtually nothing, and is a great example of why and how it's so important to use technology as we go forward. And, you know, if you decide, well, I'm not really very techy, or I don't like this, or I don't like that, you know, you're just going to get left behind. It's as simple as that. Certainly in my experience and my belief is that this technology thing is really only just starting. You know, can you imagine what it's going to be like this time almost next month? I was going to say next year, but you know, the way things are going, it's almost like next month. But certainly in, you know, 2 years, 3 years, 5, 10 years time, you know, these things called mobile phones, you know, will they even exist then? Who knows? But anyway, back to reality, back to today, and let me talk to you about what we're here to talk about, which is it's a really powerful question, actually, and that is, why isn't my marketing working as well as it could or should? And I'm going to start by saying there are many reasons. You know, it could be badly targeted. The headline could be bad. It could be the words that you're saying. It could be the wrong medium, that you're posting on Facebook when actually all your contacts are on LinkedIn, or vice versa. It could be the offer that you've made. It could be the pictures that you're using. It could be the video that's within the email or the social media post, or whatever it is. I appreciate all that. You could have got little things wrong with it. But if you ask me, what are the 2 biggest things, Steve, based on your experience, which goes back 28 years? You know, I've been doing this a long time, and do you know what? You don't have to be too bright, I don't think, to notice that there are trends. There are not 1,000 things that 1,000 things that people get wrong. There aren't. There are probably a couple of dozen at the most, and 2 big ones. 2 big ones. I'm going to go through what I think are the top 2 reasons, based on 28 plus years working in thousands of businesses in literally hundreds of different industries. And I cannot tell you how many of them make this mistake. But I am going to say it's probably somewhere in the region of, I'm gonna say 90 to 95% of businesses are making these two mistakes. Okay, so here they are. Number one, they're not doing enough. It's as simple as that. They're just not doing enough. You know, and I know that's very, very basic and very, very obvious, and you know, and so on, but it's so true. You know, when I, in my former career, some of you know that I used to play table tennis at international level. And I'll be really honest with you, I was never the most talented player, but my work ethic was incredibly high. I used to practice. I actually, I'm pretty sure I'm accurate with this, that I started in the summer. My birthday's in January, and in the summer of being 13, I started playing. By the time I was 18, I hadn't had a day off. I played 365 days a year for, like, you know, whatever it is, 4.5 years. And on my 18th birthday, I played against the Chinese world champion. You know, I got to that level in 4.5 years by grinding on my passion. And that's what people need to do in marketing. Marketing's a little bit like sport, and business actually, I think, is like sport. You know, you get rewarded for putting in a load of effort, you know, no matter what the sport, whether it's football, rugby, cricket, you name it. The people that are successful in those sports are people who, yes, they've got to have the talent. You know, it's not just about working hard, but the key difference between those who are pretty good and those who are at a level I call outstanding, where they stand out from the others, is hard work. It's as simple as that. So, you know, you've got to put hard work into marketing. What do I mean? Well, I hear all the time people telling me, I'm on LinkedIn, and what do? I post on there twice a week. You know, give me a break. You know, posting on there twice a week. So if you look at the average number of people who see a post, it's probably somewhere between about 50 and 200 people. So 50 to 200 people see your post once a week, you know, or twice a week. It's just not going to work, guys. I'm sorry. It's just not enough. You need to be on there. If you listen to any of the top marketing people in the world, which I learn my skills from, they'll tell you should be posting 10 to 15 times a day. 10 to 15 times a day. It's like going down the gym, doing 10 curls and thinking, right, that's it. I'm fit now. I don't need to do that anymore. I'll come back in a couple of weeks and do a few more curls. That ain't really going to get you anywhere. So you've got to put time, money, and effort into your marketing. And you know, the more effort, the more phone calls you make, do you think you'll win more business if you make more phone calls? Do you think you'd win more business if you sent more emails? Do you think you'd win more business if you spent more money on pay-per-click advertising? Do you think you'd win more money if you posted more often on social media? You know, I mean, unless you're doing it really badly, you would. So we need to do more of it. That's number one. We need to do more of it being everything that you're doing. And also, we need to look at doing other things. You know, whilst, you know, I'm an absolute believer that being good at one thing is where you want to be, you know, focusing on one thing and then another thing and then another thing. You know, like, give you an example. I'm pretty good at LinkedIn. I've been doing it for years. I've been winning business on LinkedIn for years and years and years. Not so good at Twitter. Never really won much business. I do it, but perhaps now, because I've nailed LinkedIn, I've got that right, maybe I need to focus on Twitter and see if I can replicate it, do the same on Twitter. Perhaps that's an area for me to try and focus on. So what I'm saying to you, I think, is yes, go and focus on one thing and get really good at it. And once you are really good at it, then focus on another, and then another, and another. Don't focus on getting really good at 48 different ways of marketing your business. That's probably not the best way of doing it. Instead, become really good at one thing and then focus on the next and then the next. So that would be really good. And again, if you listen to anybody who's successful in business, you'll hear this term: multiple streams of income, multiple ways of winning business, multiple products even. So a product could be a stream of income, a way of winning business. So a stream of income could be LinkedIn, email, paid advertising, website and networking, exhibiting, and so on and so forth. So each and every one of these ways works, but they don't work all the time. Okay, sometimes it just doesn't work because you've got things wrong, like the headline, the words, the whatever. But fundamentally, the biggest mistake is get things, do more of what you're already doing. So get things done, take action. That's the biggest mistake. Now, equally, and possibly slightly less, I don't know whether it's slightly less or slightly more, but the other big mistake I want to talk about today is this: not following up. Not following up costs businesses an absolute fortune. And when I say not following up, I don't mean not following up at all ever. I mean not following up consistently, enough, long enough. A very good friend of mine, a guy called Peter Thompson, does what I do in a way. Peter's highly respected, great guy, really knowledgeable. And he says, follow up until they die or buy. Now, I think he's slightly tongue in cheek, although I'm not quite sure whether he is or not. But I do believe a massive mistake that I see is people not following up. They say, well, did you follow it up? Oh, yeah, I phoned them, but they weren't in. Right. Okay. So what are you doing now then? Oh, well, I thought I'd send them an email tomorrow and see if they respond. And then what are you doing? Well, I might follow them up again in a couple of days after that. And then what are you doing? Well, nothing. At some point, they give up. And it's normally after 2 or 3 occasions, 2 or 3 things that they're doing. But the truth is that it takes more time and effort to convert business. Allegedly, and I say that because there are different interpretations of this, it takes 8 contacts to make a sale. I did dispute that, I've got to say, because it depends what the contact is. 8 conversations or 8 emails. I know I'd be more chance with 8 conversations than I would with 8 emails. And so, speaking to people is obviously really important. And I will say to you, as far as follow-up's concerned, the more people you speak to in 2024, the more money will end up in your bank. It's as simple as that. So you've got to be speaking to people on a regular basis. You've got to be following people up. You can follow them up in whatever way you like. The best way, I think, is, I suppose, trying to get a meeting, trying to get a Zoom meeting, phoning them on the using the telephone. Using modern digital marketing, i.e., whether it's email or LinkedIn. You can send an email out to 3,000 people, and then using the various email marketing systems, you can get to see that 586 of them have opened the email and clicked on the link that is in there to go and find out more, to go to your website. So say, for example, with my results mastery program, I send out an email to several thousand people, 586 of them click on the link where it says, if you want to know more about results mastery program and are interested in joining it, click here. Don't you think those guys deserve some follow-up? And the same's for you. Whatever your products are, whatever it is you're trying to sell, you need to follow up on people. So they're the 2 biggest mistakes I think that businesses make: lack of follow-up and not doing enough, right? Not doing enough marketing. If you're posting on LinkedIn, as I said, often people, I speak to people and they say, I don't know how you're winning business on LinkedIn, Steve. We don't win any. We've been on there and we don't win any. I'll say, well, what are you doing? Well, I post on there twice a week. That would be fairly typical answer, because I don't want to bombard people. Rest assured, if you post, I post on there at least 10 times a day on LinkedIn. Hands up if you think I'm bombarding you. Hands up if you're listening to every single post that I or reading every single post that I've got. The answer is no, I'm not. I'm hardly ever on there. People are on there and they're just not listening to me every day, all day. It just ain't happening. So, it's so important to keep on keeping on. I then talk to people about, I'll say, tell me, how many connections have you got? And they say, I've got 586. And how long have you been in business? 10 years. So, well, give me a break. What have you been doing? 10 years to get 586 contacts. I've got nowhere near as many as some. I've got 10,500 people I'm able to communicate with. I've got a newsletter on LinkedIn that enables me to send a marketing piece out to about 2,000 people every week. I'm in groups on LinkedIn, and the total number of people that are connected to me through groups, I actually don't know, but I'm going to tell you now, it's way over 1 million people, way over. It's probably more like 2 or 2.5, perhaps even 3 million people that I can right now put a marketing message out through my groups on LinkedIn. So, if you're not doing this, if you're not doing it on a regular basis, then, for me, you're missing out. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I hope you found that to be of value and of interest. I hope, you not only think, yeah, he's got a point there, but I hope you'll do something about it. Particularly, we got the coming year coming up now. Let's do whatever you can to make 2024 a better year for you and your business than 2023. And you can only do that by becoming better at sales and marketing. And in a way, I've given you one tip to get better at marketing. That is to do more of it. And the second tip, to do selling by following up on your marketing. So that's it for today. Thank you ever so much for listening. I'm not back tomorrow, but I'm here again on Thursday with a webinar, a little bit longer seminar on Thursday, which please drop me a message if you want to come along to that. I strongly recommend you do. What I'm doing on Thursday is talking to you about how to take people who are strangers, people who don't know you, warm them up, get them to communicate with you, turn them into meetings, turn those meetings into sales, and then turn those sales into ongoing streams of income. So it's going to be well worth you coming along to that. So keep a lookout. I'll be posting it several times on LinkedIn, and thank you ever so much for listening. Thanks for now, and enjoy the rest of your day.